But yeah, Sound United.
Yeah.
I had to go
what
check it
happened
out.
there?
It's officially a business trip then, right? So I took
Yes.
my wife and kids to Legoland, and we stayed at their hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because I had to visit Sound United the
Right.
next day. So that's a business trip, right? Tax people.
Yeah, I would
So,
say it's a business trip, you know.
but yeah, first of all, their new place is pretty nice. That thing look, you walk in, you're like, man, this is where you guys work. This is not too bad. Had like a pool table. They had like all kinds of like a whole room just for like games. They had like like a racing simulator.
Uh-huh.
They had one of
Wow.
those.
Racing simulator, like with
Yeah,
multiple screens and like a cockpit and like all that shit.
like a legit one. Like it looked legit. And
Yeah.
then they had a bunch of different demo rooms for their different systems.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know,
That
I
makes
think
sense. Yeah.
so they had a two channel hi-fi system with some Bowers 801s. I
Mm-hmm.
think those are the big boy ones.
Yep.
So they had some of those. Sounded awesome. Oh, I mean the treatment. I mean,
Room treatment.
like perfect, right? So perfectly symmetrical. Like these rooms are built. They said that this room is a room within a room, so it's like suspended.
Right.
I'm like, oh, all right.
They do that. They do that with music studios. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So there's a room within a room. So they have like this padding, and they have the suspension system on the ground. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, man. So
And
each room is like that.
I'm not sure. I know that one room was for sure, but it was just a 2-channel setup.
Class A amps, I would imagine.
Yeah. It was like all their high end stuff, right?
Right.
So the 801s, they're Class A, and dude, like the center image was like some of the craziest like center image, like that. It was rock solid, But of course, the room was perfect. Everything was just perfect.
Okay, let me ask you the big question.
Yeah.
Big old diamond B&Ws, right?
Huh.
Could you get to play anything other than smooth jazz on it? Like, did you play anything with any bass?
First of all, shout out to Phil Jones, because
Jones.
he was on vacation and he's like, yeah, I just got back. I can meet you up at like 9 a.m. I'm like, ah, cool. So yeah, he did the whole tour, showed me around. So he's awesome. We could talk for days. And by the way, he said he wants to be on again. And I'm like, yeah, whenever,
I actually talked to him as well today.
Oh, you talked to him?
Yeah, because so real quick to rewind back, in 2020 when they had a choice on HDMI 2.1 boards, they had the same choice as Yamaha. So Denon Marantz, they could get 1 input, 2 outputs, all capped at 40 gigabits per second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they could get 3 inputs, 1 output, capped at 24 gigabits per second. Yamaha went with that one. Denon went with the other one. Okay. So what's the big deal? Big deal is you can get 4K 120 HDR uncompressed in the Denon, and that because it's capped at 40 gigabits per second. The 24 gigabits per second in the Yamaha is compressed, right? You can run up to 10K compressed, but uncompressed you can't get 4K 120 uncompressed through those Yamahas. So that was also another thing with the so I just wanted to call Phil and double check, because we had this conversation like, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. So I'm like, I just wanted to call him and make sure I'm like right in saying this. And he's like, yeah, that's it. He's like, so when you email Yamaha, make sure you ask them point blank, what is the bit rate, the throughput for each input? Is it 24 or is it 40? Is it 48? What is it? So
yeah, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, I just talked to Joe, and he's like, I just got back from vacation. I have like a month's worth of emails that I gotta get to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man.
Yes. Croson, you can't play that movie in 4K 120. Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
But yeah. So anyway, my point is, Phil doesn't play around with like that stuff. You know what I mean? If he's gonna play something, he's like, let's hear something with some bass. And then
I can totally hear him say that. Yeah,
that's exactly what he said. I just remember I have a recording. Let's hear something. Like he wanted to see what they could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not like, you know, let's see what they can do. Anyway, I have a binaural recording of all those things. Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. And I think a lot of it will come through in those recordings.
Binaural, huh? What is that? What does that
You
mean?
know, I got my Sonic Presence
Binaural,
mics.
isn't that I thought only audioholics can do that, right? Isn't that what they were saying?
Oh, I don't know. Is that what they said? What you call it? I'm not biting on that one. I'm not going for it.
Shots fired.
I'm not going for that one. No, but I did joke around. They had a home theater set up too with a bunch of like Bowers. Like it's like the most
It's like,
ridiculous setups. Like,
well, so they just got Bowers and Wilkins, right?
They just got Bowers.
I mean, they acquired them last year, so of course they're gonna like put in the best. Dude, Phil was sending me pictures of the equipment racks and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
it's
what?
hilarious.
Yeah, crazy.
It's like if you, of course, you'd do the same thing, right? If you had access to all this stuff, you just put everything in there. And so yeah, they had for the home theater. Imagine like the custom install version of the 8.0. I don't know which 8.0 somethings, but basically they're the same thing except without the fancy cabinet. He had those for like the left, right, surrounds. Like every single speaker was that speaker, and he says that they're good down to 18 hertz. I believe him if he says that. But yeah, he was bumping that setup, and I was just joking. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool, but you know, what's up with the height speakers, the front height and the rear height? You know, and he's like, yeah, we got to set that up. So he's like, you know, he's gonna do it. Get an oral setup in there. So of course I had to throw that in there.
Yeah,
you know, because it is the best. So if they're gonna put the best stuff that they have, their Denon and Marantz has Oro, might as well do it. So